Gemini 3 is here, and it's absolutely dominating. Valve can now count to 3. ChatGPT has a full-on personality now. And get this, startups are becoming unicorns without writing a single line of code. All right, let's get into it. And let's start, of course, with Valve. The company that fans have spent decades accusing of not knowing how to count to 3 has suddenly gone into hyperdrive and unveiled 3 new devices at once. These are a new Steam machine, a new VR headset called the Steam Frame, and a completely updated Steam controller. All this glory is set to launch in early 2026, which, by the way, perfectly hints at a possible announcement of that third installment. But more on that a bit later. Let's take a closer look at each device. The main star of the show is, without a doubt, the Steam machine. It looks like a compact cube, but inside, it's an absolute monster. It's claimed to be 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. Valve's engineers proudly state that their new brainchild will handle any game from the Steam library, completely ignoring system requirements. In demanding modern titles like Cyberpunk 2077, the console easily delivers a true 4K experience at a stable 55 to 65 frames per second. Furthermore, based on Steam Analytics data, the company claims that in terms of power, their console surpasses 70% of home PCs, performing at the level of builds with an RTX 3060 graphics card. But that's not all. Unlike traditional consoles, the Steam machine has a nice feature. It can be upgraded almost like a regular computer. The SSD is hidden under an easy-to-remove cover and can be swapped out in a couple of minutes. The RAM consists of user-replaceable DDR5 modules. And another user-friendly feature is the ability to seamlessly transfer games on microSD cards between all Valve devices. It's done simply and conveniently, without any of the hassles associated with competitors. Valve's next move is an invasion into virtual reality territory. The company introduced the Steam Frame headset. Gabe Newell himself assures that the headset is very light and doesn't press on your head. It weighs just 440 grams with the strap, which is almost half the weight of the Apple Vision Pro. Inside is the latest generation Snapdragon 8 chip and 2 displays with 2K resolution per eye, operating at up to 144 Hz. The headset's main technical trick is its dual Wi-Fi module. One handles the internet connection, while the second works as a dedicated channel for streaming picture and sound directly from your PC, ensuring minimal latency. This is complemented by foveated rendering technology. The headset tracks your eye movement and increases detail and picture quality precisely in the spot you're currently looking at. Importantly, this function works in any game on Steam. The VR controllers have also been seriously updated. They feature magnetic sticks, advanced finger tracking, improved ergonomics, and a phenomenal battery life of up to 40 hours on a single battery. Wrapping up the trilogy of devices is the updated Steam controller. Externally, it looks more like an Xbox gamepad, but retains all of Valve's signature features. The key highlight is incredible precision. The built-in gyroscope activates only when you squeeze the controller's grips. Squeeze, the precise aiming mode, like a mouse, turns on. Release, the mode deactivates. For shooter fans, this is a godsend. On the bottom are 2 touchpads, like on the Steam Deck, and on the back, for programmable buttons have been added, which can be assigned any function so your thumbs never have to leave the analog sticks. The controller works via its own low-latency adapter and is compatible with all Valve devices and regular PCs. The charge lasts for about 35 hours, and pleasantly, the battery is removable. While Valve was preparing for its big reveal, OpenAI is once again demonstrating its insane pace of development. The company released 2 major updates at once. First, the long-awaited group chat feature was added to ChatGPT. Now you can chat with friends or colleagues in a single chat, and the neural network will actively participate in the conversation, picking up the context, giving hints, and generating needed ideas right as you talk. An important point is that the group chat's memory is completely separate from your personal conversations, so confidential information won't leak. For now, this feature is only available in Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, and Taiwan, but it will be rolled out to other regions soon. Right after that, OpenAI rolled out a new model, GPT 5.1. This is perhaps the most significant update in recent times. The model received so-called adaptive thinking. It answers simple questions almost instantly, and when solving complex tasks, it doesn't freeze up but thoroughly works through the logical chain to the end. Different operating modes were added: instant for immediate answers, fast, conversational, and a thinking mode for deep reflection and building long logic chains. But the most interesting part is that ChatGPT has now developed personalities. The user can choose the tone of communication: friendly, strictly professional, efficient, or even a bit weird. A style setting also appeared. You can adjust how warm, direct, or concise your AI interlocutor will be. All these innovations are being implemented gradually. They first become available to paying subscribers, and a few days later, to all other users. Soon, GPT 5.1 will completely replace the base GPT 5. Although psychologists are already warning that sharing your innermost feelings with the chat, especially with such advanced personality settings, is not the best idea. Meanwhile, Google has also taken the stage, presenting not just an update, but a genuine revolution in the world of AI, the Gemini 3 model. The company claims its creation sets a new absolute record, crushing all existing benchmarks. The model demonstrates unprecedented results in more than 30 key tests, including complex ones like MMLU and Big Bench Hard. Its phenomenal programming capabilities are especially impressive. Gemini 3 shows incredible efficiency in solving specialized coding tasks, effectively becoming not just an assistant, but a full-fledged partner for the developer. One version of the model supports a giant context window of 2 million tokens, allowing it to work with documents of unimaginable volume. Along with the model, a specialized product, Code Gemini, was positioned as a developer's dream, an intelligent assistant that radically changes the code writing process. Multimodality has also been significantly improved. The model now works with audio and video on a fundamentally new level. It seems the era of AI programming has truly arrived, and it begins with Gemini 3. And while the giants compete to create the smartest AI, one startup reminded everyone of a very important thing. The founder of Fireflies, a company now worth billions, told the crazy story of their success. It turns out that at the very beginning, they didn't have a single line of AI code, no magic algorithms or neural networks. There were just two guys surviving on pizza who, instead of the promised smart assistant for call recording, quietly sat in on other people's calls with notepads in hand and wrote down every word manually. Only after 100 such calls, when they got their first money, were they able to start automation and implement the real AI solution that ultimately took off. It turns out the best startup life hack isn't a super modern AI, but the ability to convincingly pretend you already have it and work hard to actually build it. Now let's move from the world of software to the world of hardware, where equally impressive news awaits us. The Chinese company Ubtech has made a real breakthrough by sending a whole army of humanoid robots to real factories. These aren't concepts or test samples. This is the world's first mass delivery of humanoids. Over 100 robots have already started work at factories of giants like BYD, Geely, FAW, Volkswagen, Dongfeng, and Foxconn, where they will be assembling cars and electronics. Their main feature is complete autonomy. They don't need long charging breaks. When the battery runs out, the robot simply extracts the depleted unit and inserts a new one, continuing the work shift without stopping. Essentially, they are ideal round-the-clock workers who are their own tech support. Surprisingly, the company announced the start of production just a month ago, and now the first batch is ready. Chinese manufacturing is getting employees who don't get tired, aren't late, and don't require social benefits. Games are increasingly bleeding into our reality. The famous game designer Hideo Kojima, together with the company Dansys, has presented a working exoskeleton fully inspired by his game Death Stranding. This isn't just a cosplay costume, but a fully functional device. It replicates the design from the game, including charge indicators, and is equipped with an intelligent gate control and stabilization system for walking on stairs and uneven terrain. The system analyzes the user's movement and adapts the level of support to the terrain, allowing for a multiple increase in the range of foot travel. The exoskeleton enhances stride by 50%, reduces up to 200% of the load on the knees, and creates a sensation of carrying 20 kilograms less. It runs on swappable batteries that last for over 4 hours. A limited version of this device will go on sale on December 2nd for $699. It seems Kojima's Courier Simulator has become a real-life textbook. But the next piece of news makes you think about the ethical side of technology. A startup called 2Y has released an app that allows you to bring back deceased relatives as AI avatars. The user uploads photos and voice recordings, and the system creates a digital copy of the person, which can, for example, read a bedtime story to a grandchild it never met in real life. The promo video for this service turned out to be so creepy and unsettling that it caused a wave of public backlash. People are asking in panic, what happens if my subscription runs out? Will my parents be deleted from the servers? The internet immediately recalled the Black Mirror episode Be Right Back, which explores this very theme. The majority of users are demanding this technology be destroyed, rightly assuming that such an illusion of communication will only complicate the grieving process and prevent people from coming to terms with loss and letting go of their loved ones. And finally, the long-awaited news from space that many have been waiting for years. The monopoly of Elon Musk's SpaceX on heavy reusable rockets has come to an end. Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin has successfully launched its heavy-lift New Glenn rocket and, most importantly, returned its first stage to Earth. The historic launch took place on the night of November 13th. The booster landed softly on a sea platform in the Atlantic Ocean on only the second attempt. For comparison, it took SpaceX 19 attempts to achieve this. New Glenn delivered 2 NASA Escapade probes into orbit, which will head to Mars to study its magnetosphere and space weather. The rocket itself is impressive in size. 98 meters tall, it can carry up to 45 tons of payload and is rated for at least 25 reflights. And this is just the beginning. New Glenn is already being prepared for the Artemis 8 lunar program, the launch of the Amazon Kuiper satellite constellation, and a number of government contracts. For the first time in a long time, SpaceX has a truly serious and ambitious competitor, which means the space race is entering a new phase, inevitably accelerating the development of all space technologies. On this cosmic and uplifting note, I suggest we end today's episode. The world of technology isn't just changing, it's racing forward at a breakneck speed, and it's incredibly interesting to watch. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for being with us, and see you next time.